Well, thank you very much indeed for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to do that.
Happy to be here.
It's a great conference, isn't it, this one?
It is a very good conference and very large. It's interesting and bringing in people from all over the world, so it's been exciting.
And what are some of the more interesting topics for you here?
I think what we're very much interested in is engineering education in general, and so you've got a large number of people here who are all motivated and interested in that topic, so there's been a lot of energy around it. From an AMD perspective, we look at what does the next generation of engineer need to know and do in order to be able to innovate and lead for AMD.
One of the big issues here is the link between industry and academia, and obviously a lot of students at the end of the day are going to want a job. They're going to want to get employed. So when AMD looks at recruiting, what kind of skills and attributes are you looking for?
Well, I think first and foremost we're looking for deep technical experience and knowledge. But more so these days, beyond that, it's really essential for engineers to have other skills. And that's because the way that engineering work gets done has changed quite radically over the last, well, really just 5 to 10 years. And that being the fact that the engineering teams of today are dispersed all over the world. And so not only are you trying to work on a highly technical product, but you're also having to work across sometimes 10 different countries, maybe 7 different time zones. And if you have even a simple question, it may take a 24 or 48 hour resolution. So for us, it's the other skills, what some people label the soft skills, but are critical to engineers today. So teamwork is a huge one. How do you teamwork with people all over the world? Cultural awareness, so that you're not making a faux pas as you're trying to solve a very challenging issue. So working on teams, problem solving, obviously, critical thinking is important, but really it's how can you lead a team, project manage a team across the whole globe.
And the other side of the coin, obviously here are the colleges themselves and the professors and the academics here. What do you think they can learn, or what can they improve, do you think, in some of their curricula? What can universities learn?
So I think what I've seen here at the conference is there's a lot of very innovative work going on in the universities, and many of them are starting to teach engineering in a much more multidisciplinary way. So they're baking in, how do you grow students as team leaders, as project managers, as communicators, which sometimes may not be real natural for the typical engineering student. So how do you make them more of a hybrid of, yes, a really strong technical expert, but at the same time have the skills and experiences they need to navigate in the global world?
Last question is, one of the fundamental issues here that people have been talking to us about is how do you get young people? How do you get young people interested in science and technology? How do you do that?
Well, that's a challenge, and I think that we've seen over the years we've had fewer and fewer young people coming out of high school and then into college with an interest in engineering, and sometimes even those that do get into engineering schools change their majors. There's a pretty large percentage now, 30 to 40% actually still change their majors. At AMD, our solution for that is a little bit unique and creative, I think. We are working at the middle and high school level to get kids excited about STEM learning first. And we do that through the use of digital game development in the classroom. So we are now have a program called AMD Changing the Game, which gets kids excited about STEM through the development of digital games on social issues. And in the process, they get STEM learning, but they're so engaged in it that they don't really know sometimes that they're learning, and we call that stealth learning, actually. But if we can get that whole generation excited about STEM in a way, or not, at least a good percentage of them, our hope is they'll go on into technical careers in engineering majors.
That sounds like such a fascinating program. Yeah. Well, thank you very much indeed for sharing that with us today. We really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you.
Well, glad to be here. Thank you.